Greetings and salutations, my fellow outlaws and ne'er-do-wells. This is the Two Nerds Podcast. I am Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
I blew up Strawberry.
Boy, that's an inside joke they have no way of fully understanding.
Hey.
It has been a while. Pat ourselves on the back there. Since we have had to do a podcast.
And we found a good one, ladies and gentlemen, because very recently I finally actually sat down, worked with a friend of mine who knows more about the computer than me, and got together a pretty decent gaming PC. So I've been playing more PC games recently, and this guy's been playing PC games pretty regularly for years. So I'm just going to talk about how it's been really fun to get back into gaming with the boys.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it's fun. Podcast
right.
over.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
No, there's been a few specific games that either he's played or I've played, and then a couple that we've played together as like a group, and it's just really fun. It's nice to get back into multiplayer gaming. Couch multiplayer, even though we live in the same house, has kind of gone the way of the dodo. There hasn't been a decent army of two in many years, as it were.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to get back into, and we have another roommate who we play with, and it's been nice to get back into PC gaming and get back into gaming with people, and that's been super fun. So we're going to talk about some of those games.
We are. And you know what else is great about people? When they donate to your Patreon. Like Rob, who donates to our Patreon. He's a winner chicken dinner. Couldn't be a sinner because he gives us a tenner every month. Thanks, Rob.
Wow, that's more than I thought he did. Wow, that's really nice.
He upped his donation recently. Y'all don't have to give me nothing but $1. Hell, for the price of a coffee, I might start putting stuff on the Patreon. But you gotta, I can't just... It's sad if I just put it up there and a tumbleweed rolls by.
Well, you got Rob now.
I do. Well, and I've had him for a while. He's always been a supporter since I was but a youngling. So, yeah. If you donate to the Patreon, we'll shout you out on the podcast, talk about how cool you are, waste everyone's time before we get to the point mentioning your name.
Rob is good.
Someday, that will stop being funny.
It's not today.
It is not. Oh. But also, before we move along, do the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Why do you do all of this? Because that causes the algorithm to increase the likelihood people are going to find our podcast while looking through YouTube stuff or in their recommended tabs and stuff.
Now, this channel isn't monetized, so it's already at something of a disadvantage algorithmically. So everything every like, every comment, every subscription helps us, honestly, even a little bit more than some other YouTube channels, just because we're already at sort of a back-end disadvantage. It really helps to close that gap.
If you like the show, share us around. There's a button right there where you can tell other people about how cool we are. You can link it yourself if you don't like the YouTube thing. Also, I wrote a book recently. I wrote 4 fucking long time ago, but recently I came out with another one. Great jumping on point for the series. Links in the description for all those books. Moving swiftly along.
Back to gaming. Cracking open a cold one with the boys and doing a cool game. What do you want to talk about first? How about first one we had listed?
Well, Fall Guys came out. You guys remember that. It's not as popular as it was before, but...
it was a big thing for a couple weeks.
So huge. And it's fun. I dismissed it out of hand at first, just because I didn't get it. But then I actually sat down and watched somebody play it. It's a good time. It's... I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's like Mario Party without the board game bullshit and with, 50 other people.
Mario Party Royale, as I have heard it described.
It's fun. It's cute. I haven't been playing it a lot lately. Just because, there's other shit to play, man. Games
so many
keep
other
rolling.
things to play.
But I did have fun with it. I get to play a little bit of multiplayer with my girlfriend, and that was nice. You haven't played it at all, have you?
No, it's not really my jam.
Not really.
Not a huge fan of Mario Party, so Mario Party Royale doesn't really move the unit.
Yeah, but something we have played together is Phasmophobia.
it's really hard every time someone says the name not to do the Phantasmagoria joke. But yeah, this is a good game. It's a good game.
I mean, it's one guy who made this game and didn't expect it to blow up.
And he did for like one dude, it's really well made.
Mm-hmm.
And the central premise of Phasmophobia, because it's not been quite as much of a phenomenon as Fall Guys, is you are a team of ghost hunters, or one solo ghost hunter if you're both the bravest and stupidest person in the world. And you go into houses that are various levels of haunted with various kinds of ghosts to find proof of the ghost, to taunt the ghost into doing stuff so you can try and find out what kind of ghost it is, to shit-talk the ghost, and then to be murdered by the ghost. Or you get away and actually do your job and get paid if you're better at the game than me.
There's always a poop shoot on the team. If I'm playing with a guy from Ohio on Twitch is our roommate. If you guys want to head over there, give him a subscription. We've actually been on some of his streams.
Yeah, he's a really good, entertaining, fun streamer. And I'm not doing this just to compliment him, because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
And yet we watch the stream. No, he's good for a follow. We've had a lot of fun playing with him, playing with other people, just exploring the stuff the game has to offer. It's so nice to be in a spooky situation with friends. Like, when this game, playing it alone, fuck no. It's a massive difference. I have said the tutorial is the scariest fucking part of the game. Because you are alone in the alone house. It's like the safest fucking ghost, and yet you're still like, I don't want to hear the ghost say things, man. I don't want the ghost to come after me. It's got that atmosphere, and there's not your friends out there, to chill you out.
Saying things like, I'm on your bridge, ghost. What are you going to do about it, ghost?
Laughing and taunting the ghost. Even when we get attacked and die or whatever. It just lightens
It is
the mood.
particularly fun when you're being attacked to, right before you know your audio is going to cut out, just begin screaming.
They just added to the game the ability for dead players to interact with non-tool items.
Ooh, so instead of just bouncing back and forth in front of the motion sensor to freak somebody out, you can, grab a candlestick and huck it.
Or what will be my new mission when I'm dead in Phasmophobia, which is get as much tat to the truck as possible.
just industriously begin stealing everything in the house.
What are they going to do? I'm a ghost. You can't arrest a ghost.
Oh, yeah, because even the Phasmophobia people, they're just there to catalog what kind of ghost it is and then fuck off.
Yeah. So, if I'm not going to get rich from the money I earn from the ghost job, I'm going to steal a bunch of shit.
There you go. That's a good mission to have. I can't wait for the opportunity to interact with the other ghost and have, fuck with them.
I tried it in one game I played. I died, and it's up for contention whether it does anything. But I was standing in front of the ghost and taunting it and saying stuff to it, and it didn't do anything. Now, that might have been the kind of ghost it was. I don't know. I'm not super experienced at this game. I think beyond a certain level of experience, you defeat the fun of the game in defeating the game.
I've seen playthroughs by people who are very experienced at the game, and they portray like fucking professionals. They have all their shit on lock. They have a sweep pattern, and they'll go through the same list of 4. These are mathematically proven to generate responses from these types of ghosts. So they go into the room, say those 5 things, turn on the radio, turn off the radio, go to the next room. Bro, this ain't your actual job. Calm down.
Well, and it's not like there's it's not like even Fall Guys where you can unlock skins and stuff. Your money is just for buying equipment to hunt ghosts.
Yeah.
Eventually, you outstrip the ghost hunting versus equipment buying algorithm. You're just rich in-game.
And for the rare occasion when you do die, you can just buy all the equipment again and move along. But I bring a very shitlord energy to Phasmophobia because I'm easy to startle. I'm hard to spook. So I am the guy from the YouTube series making fun of ghost hunters, walking into the room going, "What up, demons? It's me, ya boy." And then I will get startled, and everyone will have an joyous time listening to me be startled.
I don't know what role I fulfilled.
It's pretty, from what I've seen of you on various like stream content and like playing with you, it changes depending on what group you're with a little bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, I usually like to be the guy who has the camera because I'm pretty quick about taking a picture.
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm too easy to startle. I see the ghost doing the little flicker thing with their little sickle scythe, and I go, shit! I get out of here!
But if somebody else is better than me, it's like, it's fine. I'll just hold this glow stick, I guess. Ooh, spooky rave.
I will say I do not fucking like the Asylum map. Not because it's spooky. It's just fucking non-Euclidean. I can never find my way around.
They're adding a prison.
No thanks. No, thank you.
Woof. I think the scariest maps, honestly, the smaller ones, the house, the cabin, and the school, just because it feels so weird being alone in a school.
School spookiest map.
Yeah.
School champion spooky map, no contest.
The cabin's pretty good, though.
Cabin's pretty good. House, not that spooky. Even if the ghost is really aggro, it just seems like, bro, you're in the fucking suburbs. Calm down.
I don't know, man. Like, it's got that personal level to it. Like, this could be my house kind of thing, you know?
It's always way too nice to be my house.
Oh, well, let's talk about Divinity Original Sin 2, a game we have not played much of.
We are, I'd call it maybe 4 hours into the 20-hour tutorial, which is a scary thing to say.
I think it's only that long for, like, a completionist, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't want spoilers, so I haven't looked anything up. Also, I think I might be bad at that game.
It takes some getting used to, but like the second I got used to it, I'm digging the vibe. The different like terrain splashes and like coupling your damages to create bigger damage.
And like it's very interesting because it is. We never played the original, either of us, I don't believe.
No.
And we both have been playing D&D since we were kids, essentially, and. So it is interesting to see that same sort of vibe in a slightly different mechanical system. Because it is very much, it's much more D&D than like even another game later on this list. Because there's so much freedom of choice in this game that it contrasts positively with another game later on this list. It's so bafflingly, just open to whatever you want to do. Do it. You might fuck up and fail, and then that's the story that gets told. We're playing a multiplayer campaign with a guy from Ohio. We're not streaming it just because I get too spicy when I play D&D. I don't want that on the internet.
You say the L word.
Larry.
We started playing it because Baldur's Gate 3 is, in early access and it's very hot. And I'm looking forward to playing it, but I'd like for the actual full game to be out, with the classes and races and stuff they don't have now.
And we'd also like to see if this is a type of experience we enjoy, and Divinity was on sale. So
Yeah. So I've been trying to play Divinity for a while, and that sale came up, and we were all willing to play together, and man, it's just that much more fun when you're playing with your friends. Like, I would get distracted and wander off from this before too long, I think.
Yeah, if I was just by myself, I'm aware that the tutorial zone being as big and long as it is would immediately cause me to stop giving a shit about the game unless I was playing a Barrelmancer for the laughs.
I think, though, there's like ways out that you can take if you're solo that are faster. I've had a bunch crop up. I don't know how far the tutorial extends, Well,
I also imagine the game's gotta be fucking nearly impossible by yourself.
Well, you get a party.
Well, I suppose you do get a party, and so it's just you running all the characters, which would make it easier to work together.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about somebody going off into a location you don't want them to or whatever. But like the more fights we get in, the better we do.
Yeah, we're learning the system, and there is one positive to having a bunch of people in the game is that we don't ever, unless it's time to fight something, the game helpfully pauses the fight until like you start going. So if it's, I'm going to fight, you can, like, come over here, you guys, and we'll walk halfway across the island to go get into the fight. which is nice of the game because we immediately scatter like we are a bunch of old-timey urchins and the coppers are here to every corner of that island, and it's made it really efficient to go find quests and shit because
we gather information, and I tend to be a loot gremlin and then sneak stuff into you guys' bags when you're not looking.
I have noticed I have many items that I did not grab.
You need them. You're good. Let's talk about the other game that you wanted to mention because I think there is a contrast to be spoken of there, and that is Pathfinder Kingmaker.
Yeah, so Pathfinder Kingmaker is a game I've been playing for a little bit. I was playing it before I upgraded my existing PC into a good, solid gaming rig. It's very nice to do that because, like, I can play other more intensive games. Pathfinder's a pretty low-end graphical game. I was able to turn stuff up, and the load times are better and all that stuff, which is nice. But it is a game that its heart is in the right place. But it is weighed down by one being Pathfinder. This isn't up for debate. This is entirely personal preference. I'm not looking to fight Pathfinder nerds. 5e's D&D good edition. Every other edition is worse.
Pathfinder's a cheaper license, though.
Yes, it is. And it's also weighed down by being kind of a small team, and you can see it at the edges. I eventually, when I started getting back into it, because I started playing it for a while, and then I immediately dropped off because I ran into what is essentially a game-breaking bug. If you, and it's just not impossible to tell that you've run into it until like 10 hours after you ran into it. Unless you know spoilers and you go, wait a minute, this random encounter that's supposed to happen here didn't happen. Uh-oh, I should probably reload from my save a reasonable amount of time ago, not a chapter and a half ago. So that made me upset. So I downloaded a mod, which is essentially just like it can be used as like a tool to cheat. I use it to get around the bugs in the game, which is very useful. It also lets me tweak the difficulty, turn like... it lets me DM to a certain extent. Oh, this I'm kind of rolling over all the combat. Well, the difficulty settings in the game are a little obtuse. I can be a little bit more fine-tuned in this alternate tool. But the fact that I have to do that says something about the game. It is a interesting story. It is kind of bogged down by being very beholden to the alignment system. And a very odd interpretation of the alignment system that doesn't match my personal one. So there's points of dissonance where it's like lawful neutral, be a complete jackass. And that's bothersome to me. There are a couple points where, to contrast Divinity Original Sin II, the lack of freedom of choice is very bothersome. This is a small spoiler for the game. It's not too far into the game that you find this out. You eventually end up taking over an area and becoming the person who rules it.
I mean, it's called Pathfinder Kingmaker.
Yeah. I have lost count of the number of times that I have someone has come to my house in my town that I'm in charge of and and gave me shit, and the game would not let me do anything about it. The most recent one being recently, some lady was beating one of my citizens in front of me, and I told her to stop. And then when she said, basically, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, I was like, all right, guard, seize her. I'm in charge here. And then she was like, no, I am not arrested. I'm just going to leave. That's so fucking frustrating. In Divinity Original Sin 2, they might do that, but then I could immediately attack that person.
And you'd suffer whatever consequences you'd suffer, but at least it's a fucking option. We killed a party member.
Yeah, because in the game there are party members there's like pre-generated characters with like voice lines and cool stuff that they can do and like unique storylines. We didn't want to play any of them. We all played 3 OC Do Not Steals. We found one right after we got off the actual like starter tutorial, and he was a douche. So one of the party members, the one playing the thief, I didn't say rogue for a reason, decided to just crouch and steal everything from his inventory, and it almost worked. Then it didn't, and he started fighting us, and I was like, oh man, he's probably like quest essential and we'll have to reload. No, we just murdered him. He's just dead now. And then the game continues.
We met a guy later who was like, I'm looking for this dude. And we were like, good luck.
You can find what's left of him over on that rock over there.
But I kind of like just rolling with it. Like, because if I were playing alone, that would be a point where I was like, oh no, I have to reload because But I'm playing with you guys, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I mean, it matters, but like, the consequences of our actions are what they are. We're not... This is a collective decision thing, and I'm allowed to go, I guess that guy's dead now.
And we all just sort of wandered off.
Yeah. To talk about Pathfinder, I started playing this game. I recommended it to you, actually.
Yeah, you did.
Because I know you like this genre.
I really do. And don't get me wrong, Pathfinder Kingmaker is a good game. It's just kind of bogged down by some very unfortunate consequences of being a smaller team.
We got it during the Steam Summer Sale. So I played this for a little bit in July, and then just kind of got frustrated with some quest stuff pretty early in the game. And, like, it had me go through this big, complicated, annoying dungeon. And,
I imagine Old Sycamore. The tree.
Maybe. It might have been. We're full of, like, ants or whatever.
Possibly.
Whatever. Anyway. And then there was another thing right after that, and I'm like, man, I don't know if this is a dungeon or not. I don't know if I want to go through all that. Because it wasn't a fun dungeon. It was just annoying.
None of the dungeons are fun.
Yeah. Well, and you clarified to me that the next thing wasn't a dungeon, but, like, I went on a road trip, and, I did this and did that. And another problem was that they didn't have the turn-based mode back then.
They do now. The game is much better now that they have turn-based mode.
So I keep telling myself to pick it back up again, but, like, other shit keeps getting in the way, other distractions, other games to play.
I started a whole new save when I started playing again with turn-based mode on, because I could finally play a spellcaster without constantly fireballing all my allies. And it's been super great. Turn-based mode vastly improved the game. Because it is based on Pathfinder, and Pathfinder is not an active time battle system for a fucking reason.
Yeah, it's complicated, even more dense 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons. But I have this thing about when I walk away from a game, sometimes that's it. Goodbye.
Yeah, sometimes that is the last that game ever sees of White Raven.
I came back earlier this year and finished Watch Dogs 2. Fantastic game, by the way.
Watch Dogs 2 is the best Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. But, like, okay, so this ridiculously good fucking game that I really loved, I came back to after a year or two and finished it. That's not the norm.
No, normally it's, we're done here.
Yeah, I might have every intention of coming back, but, like, meh. So, I plan on getting back to it. We'll see if that happens or not. Either way, seeing the boy enjoy the game as much as he has was worth my $10 of admission. It's good to help a friend out discover something they enjoy.
Because I am enjoying the game. I'll probably go play it after this.
It sounds fun. The other game that we have been playing and having very different experiences on is Titanfall 2.
Yep. I played a fair amount of the storyline of Titanfall 2 on console. But I have a PC now that can play PC games. So I was watching my favorite streamer, a guy from Ohio, and he had a giveaway in his chat for win a copy of Titanfall 2, because it's his favorite game. And I want a copy of Titanfall 2, so I've been playing Titanfall 2 again. I'm playing the campaign because I don't like online multiplayer games, like massively multiplayer games, that much at this point in my life. I find them very stressful. So I've been playing the campaign, just sort of enjoying the actual mechanics of the game, and once I'm done and I feel like I'm competent enough not to drag everyone around me down, I might play the multiplayer, but I've seen someone who's good at it play it, and that looks terrifying.
Meanwhile, I played the campaign long enough to figure out what my buttons do.
And then immediately jumped into multiplayer.
Yeah, the campaign's not my bag. Like, the storyline, I don't care.
Yeah, it's not really the kind of story you dig on.
No, it seems fine. Very, it's just not... It's like if you don't like horror movies, you're not going to think, Nightmare on Elm Street is any good.
Yeah, I mean, Titanfall 2 has a pretty good story. It is a good, solid, like, middle-of-the-road horror movie. But if you hate horror movies, you're going to think it's a good movie.
And this is just not my style of thing. But the multiplayer, however, as somebody who has played Apex Legends, I can see why Titanfall 2 fans think they dropped the fucking ball.
Because Apex Legends is worse Titanfall?
It really is. It's slower. It's not as smooth. I don't feel like I have as many options in Apex Legends.
Whereas in Titanfall, like, you look like a fucking god.
I don't, but other people do.
I was speaking specifically about the guy I watched stream Titanfall 2, a guy from Ohio on Twitch.
That's part of the reason I grabbed it. It was on sale on the Epic Game Store, I think. Or EA or whatever. One of those ones that isn't Steam. I grabbed it for $10. Origin. Yes, it was the Origin store.
I had to download Origin to get my copy of Titanfall 2.
And it took me a while to get into the multiplayer. But it was one of those things where I could tell fundamentally I liked what the game had to offer. So, like, I was okay with working up to a place, finding out which guns I liked in my loadout, which power-ups I like. And I'm still in the process of that, but, like, I got to a point where I'm comfortable. And now I can work on other aspects of the game, getting better at those. And it shows. Like, my kill counts have gotten better. My involvement in matches has gotten better. I'm able to kill other players. Like, it's been really cool. And it got some really fresh, interesting maps. And they're so dynamic. And the Titan thing, I'm not a huge mech guy, but, like...
If you're going to do a mech, that's a good implementation.
Yeah, they use it really well, and you get to make choices about what your Titan does.
It feels impactful. There's never a point when you have your mech that you don't feel like you are important on the map, even when it's all mechs.
Yeah, it's really cool, and just the amount of choices you have. You know, I can't remember. I think the last first-person shooter multiplayer game. Well. Let me rephrase that. The last one of those I played was Overwatch. Before that, it was Halo. And Titanfall feels more Halo than Overwatch. Overwatch is more objective-based. And while Titanfall 2 has those, I haven't run into them yet. Most people just seem to play attrition, which is kill the other guy.
And their grunts.
And their
large numbers. Yeah. Get into Scorch, turn on your heat shield, commit war crimes.
I use Monarch is the one that I like. I tried Scorch out. It was okay.
Not my playstyle, really.
Scorch, yeah, no, I mean.
Yeah. I would probably play... so far in the campaign, there's been one that's... I don't remember the names of them, but there's one that has, like, a grenade launcher and, like, can fly.
I don't care for that one.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Or a rocket
the
launcher,
flying
maybe.
is just too much, like... You have added another dimension.
I mean, it's basically a jump button on my mech, and Lord, did I need one.
Well, that's true. Them not having a jump button makes me confused. But, man, and just being able to remap the controls and turn on auto run. Once I turned on auto run...
Oh, the game just gets better. I have auto run. We click to walk when we feel like taking in the scenery. Otherwise, we are on the move.
Yeah. Just sliding around things and having a good time. So yeah, it's a decent community. Like, as old of a game as it is, you can still get in matches pretty reasonably quick.
Yeah, it's too larger now because I don't know that I'll do much of the multiplayer, but once I'm finished with the campaign, I probably will, just because I'll be like, I like these mechanics. I'm gonna play some more of it.
Yeah, well, and if you're playing with your bros.
Yeah, I can drag you guys down. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Well, and it'll be nice. You'll uplift me by being worse than me.
Yeah, you know what it'll be? It'll be we drag a guy from Ohio's elo down enough that he gets to stomp on noobs.
Oh, yeah. Assuming that the pool of people playing the game is strong enough to have an elo system. Yeah, I have had fun with it, and it's been fun playing games with my friends again. It feels like there was another game we've played together.
It does, but it's not... It's not coming up in my brain right now. Like,
no.
I'm cycling through what we've been doing recently, and nothing's popping up.
Bizarre. I will also say I've been playing a lot of League of Legends lately.
He really has.
I've been doing the pass a lot just because I like loot crate gambling.
Yeah.
I finally got to a point where they released a skin for a Moo where he's like a pumpkin prince for Halloween. And I grabbed it because it's limited time, and it felt dirty because the loot boxes are more fun.
than just buying this game with money. Yeah, I mean, like, live your life. Again, competitive multiplayer games, that's the term I was looking for. At this point in my life, they're very fucking stressful. It's not that I worry about being a loser. That's not really the problem. Every time there's anything that's a team, I worry very much about letting down my teammates, and that stresses me out.
Somewhere your high school gym teacher got an erection. I instilled teamwork in him. Yeah.
I don't even remember who that was. Awesome.
Nice.
That's really good news.
Yeah, it's a good note to end the podcast on.
Yeah, it is. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck you, gym teacher.